Hello and welcome back to the Long Island Railroad Montauk branch. Today I want you to join me all in an experiment. I've been doing some remodeling here and I laid down this ground cover to represent kind of a gravelly sandy base, and it's made out of equal parts sand and gray grout mixed with a glue solution made up of 1 part Mod Podge to 3 parts water. So I mixed that all together and made it into kind of a paste and just kind of spread it around with my hand all over, okay? And that worked fine, and that's basically what it looks like right there, and I think it looks good. Now in some places though it was a little thin, so I decided I would add a little more, sprinkle it on top, and then cover it, like in this bit right here. You can see the outline right here. What I did was I added some more on top, sprinkled it on, and then I covered it with, like you would normally do with something like this, isopropyl alcohol and then a little glue mixture, the same glue as I did before. Now, the problem is apparently the isopropyl alcohol reacts differently and makes it dry darker. So you can see it definitely leaves a stain, and also you can see that I did this directly over a piece of cardboard, or actually matte board that I had carved. Here you can see right there, I had it carved up to look like big squares of concrete. So I put everything directly over it, and now you can see the lines through where you can't over here. So you can't see the lines, here you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fix this. And I'm going to try that in 2 different ways. And I'll show that to you in just a second. Okay. First, I rearranged the camera and the light so that you can see what I'm doing. And be aware, I am left-handed, so don't be shocked. The first thing I'm going to do is just lay down a coat of full-strength Mod Podge and sprinkle the stuff over it and see how that works. So let me just open this baby up. Oops, I hate it when the paper thing sticks to the top. You gotta get it all over your hands. Ugh. It's so annoying. So I'm just going to take an crappy old brush and paint it on. And no, you don't have to watch all of this. Okay, I got it all painted on. Now the question, yeah, pretty sure this is going to look fine. The question is, how much of this stuff will stick when it fully dries? So let me just, to do this, I just take a little and a spoon, a little quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon, quarter teaspoon, and I'll just sprinkle that stuff right on. I'll put a lot right at the edge there. Try to soften the edges. Okay, I think this is actually going to work pretty well, because as you can see, I sprinkled the dust, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, and it's getting dark, meaning that the Mod Podge is soaking all the way through. So it should all stick. I mean, some of it shouldn't, except like there, maybe I put a little too much on right there, and it's not going to get the glue solution to darken it, but overall I think it's going to be okay. So now we'll try solution number 2. And for solution number 2, I basically just made up the same substance that I used originally. It's equal parts, like I said, equal parts filtered sand, filtered gray grout, plus for every ounce, I have a little scoop that's 1 ounce, and for every scoop, you add 1 little pipette full of the glue mixture. So if you have a total of, say, 8 ounces of stuff, you put in 8 pipettes. And that is actually going to make a pretty thick mixture. But thick is what you want, because with thick you get contours and you get the little irregularities. I put it on too thin, Jesus. To put it on too thin, it's just going to spread out and look like just a flat sea of stuff. And if that's what you want, that's fine, but that's not what I want. So with this I made up a little goopier, so it'll be easier to spread. So I'm just going to take a little spoonful. And really the best way to do this is with your fingers. And it's an awful mess. Sorry if you want to try this at home. Also, if you want to try this at home, do not clean this stuff in the sink, because it will and I'm just guessing here, it will clog your pipes because this is grout, and it's, I don't know. So I always just put it in a bucket and rinse everything off in a bucket and then go dump the bucket outside. I happen to have a convenient forest behind my house, and it just goes out into the forest. I'm pretty sure this, since it's basically exactly what I did before, will work just fine. But like I said, this is probably a little harder to execute and obviously a lot messier. So if the other way works just as well, I will probably do that for the other spots. All right, that's about it. Now we're just going to let this dry and come back in a couple hours and see what happens. And we're back. It is a good 4 hours later, and we can see that method number 1 did not work. It's all dark. It looks better than it did before, so I'm probably not going to do anything about it because, you know, it could just be a stain or something going on there. Who knows? Method number 2 worked fine as far as making it about the same color and covering up the lines. It's kind of a little raised. I mean, you can see it's a little bit different if you know what you're looking at. If I sand it down, maybe it'll be better, but it's certainly acceptable. So I'm going to have to make up some more of my goop and use that to fix all the rest of the spots. So there you go. Okay, another few hours has passed, and as we can see, it all looks pretty good. The shadow marks are gone, and you can't see the lines in the underlying mat board anymore. So I'm happy. It's all worked out very well. So this just goes to show that the number 1 rule of model railroading is always have a plan to hide your mistakes. And in this case, it worked out pretty well. So I still have to add some fencing and put all the details back in place, and we'll be switching this industry out on the next video. But that's for the future. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.